Just take a moment and think about this. 10 years from now, what will your mornings look like? Will you still be able to stand on your own and make yourself a cup of tea? Or will you need someone's help just to get to the bathroom? Will you still be able to go to the market and buy the things you love by yourself? These questions may sound a little uncomfortable, but this is the reality. And the decision about that future is being made today, right now, by the food that is sitting on your plate. Before we go any further, make sure to subscribe, because this information could make a real difference in your life. Let me explain something. Every year, millions of older adults around the world do not lose their independence because of a major disease. They lose it because one day they slip, they fall, a bone breaks, and they are never able to stand properly again. The most frightening part is that these falls do not happen suddenly. They begin years earlier, inside your kitchen, on your plate, with foods that you have been believing are healthy all along. Today I am going to tell you about 3 vegetables that many people consider healthy, but which may slowly weaken your bones, harden your blood vessels, and rob your legs of their strength. After that, I will share 3 vegetables that could completely change your life after the age of 60. But before that, there is something important you need to understand. After 60, the body changes completely. When you were younger, your body could somehow manage whatever you ate. But things no longer work that way. Now, every bite is a decision. Every meal can become a turning point in your life. If you eat wisely, your body can remain strong like a healthy tree. But if you eat poorly, that same tree slowly becomes hollow from the inside, and one small push can bring it down. So first, let us talk about the vegetables that should be reduced. The first one is something that is probably served in your home several times a week: corn. Yes, cornbread, roasted corn, or other foods made from corn. Now you might be wondering how a natural food like corn could possibly be harmful. Let me tell you, the problem is not the corn itself, but the omega-6 fatty acids hidden inside it. Our bodies need 2 kinds of fats. Omega-3 helps reduce inflammation, while omega-6 tends to increase it. When both are balanced, the body functions properly. But when you consume corn every day, omega-6 starts to dominate, and this inflammation is not something you can see from the outside. It quietly burns inside your joints and blood vessels. Just imagine having a slow fire burning inside your body without even knowing it. Your knees hurt, and you assume it is simply because of aging. Your fingers become stiff, and you blame the weather. But in reality, it may be that same silent fire that foods like corn are feeding inside your body. If you continue adding fuel to that fire every single day, there may come a time when your joints become so stiff that even standing up begins to feel difficult. This does not mean you have to eliminate corn completely. Having it once a week is perfectly fine. But if you are eating it every day, you may be slowly filling your joints with inflammation. But wait, we have only talked about one enemy so far. The second one is even more dangerous because it quietly sits in your kitchen. It stays right in front of your eyes, yet you never realize that it is not your friend, but your enemy: canned vegetables. Tomatoes, peas, and other vegetables packed inside metal cans. Many people think that vegetables are vegetables, whether they are fresh or canned, but the difference between them is enormous. The inner lining of these cans may contain chemicals that can increase inflammation in the body. On top of that, manufacturers often add excessive amounts of salt to preserve them for long periods. That extra salt raises blood pressure and causes the body to retain water. Have you ever wondered why older adults often develop swollen ankles? Why their shoes suddenly start feeling tighter? One major reason is excessive salt. Fluid begins to collect in the legs, pressure builds up inside the blood vessels, oxygen cannot reach the muscles properly, and as a result, the legs gradually become weaker, walking becomes unsteady, and the risk of falling increases dramatically. When fresh vegetables are easily available everywhere, relying on canned foods is like gambling with your health. Now listen carefully, because the next part may surprise you. The food that makes you feel proud because you think you are eating healthy might actually be giving your body almost nothing. Lettuce. Yes, that light green leaf you often see inside burgers and sandwiches. Most of it is simply water. It does not provide any remarkable vitamins or powerful nutrients that can truly support your body. In many ways, it is just a simple leaf filled with water. Let me explain why this matters. As we grow older, our stomach fills up more quickly. If you fill it with foods that offer very little nutrition, there will be less room left for the vegetables your body actually needs. This is known as nutrient displacement. In other words, your plate may be full, but your body remains empty from within. Bones slowly become weaker, muscle cramps become more common, and all the while you continue believing that you are eating everything right. That is why it is always better to choose dark green vegetables instead of lettuce, because that is where the real strength is hidden. So far, I have told you about 3 foods that may slowly weaken your body. But now let us talk about the foods that can help rebuild that strength. These 3 vegetables are so powerful that if you make them part of your life, you may begin to feel strength returning to your body. Your bones can become stronger, and your legs may regain the energy that seemed to disappear years ago. The first vegetable deserves your full attention because it is something many people have ignored throughout their lives. It often sits quietly in the corner of a salad plate, and most people never realize its true value. But once you understand its benefits, you may never overlook it again. Beetroot. That deep red beetroot is far more than decoration. It acts like a natural support system for your blood vessels. As we age, our blood vessels slowly become narrower and stiffer. Think of it like the water pipes inside a house. When they are new, water flows freely. But over time, dirt begins to collect inside them. The pipes become harder and the flow becomes weaker. The same thing happens inside the body. Your heart works like a pump that sends blood throughout the body. And delivering blood to the legs is one of its toughest jobs because the legs are the farthest away. When blood vessels become narrow, enough blood cannot reach the legs. Your legs start feeling heavy, your feet remain cold, and you assume that aging is responsible. But in reality, poor blood circulation may be the issue. Beetroot contains natural nitrates. Once you eat it, your body converts them into nitric oxide. This nitric oxide helps relax and widen the blood vessels. When blood vessels open up, blood flows more efficiently, muscles receive more oxygen, and your balance begins to improve. You can eat beetroot after lightly boiling it or enjoy it as juice. It not only supports your legs, but may also help your brain function better because improved blood flow reaches the brain as well. Now let us move to the second vegetable. And here I want to tell you something that might completely change the way you think. Do you know what the greatest danger for older adults really is? It is not heart disease, and it is not cancer. The greatest danger is falling and suffering a broken bone. And when do people fall? They fall when their balance begins to fail. The soles of your feet contain tiny sensors that constantly inform the brain about the ground beneath you and where your feet are stepping. But when you frequently eat sugary foods or white potatoes, blood sugar rises rapidly and then drops just as quickly. These sudden spikes and crashes can gradually damage those tiny sensors. Eventually, you may no longer feel whether your foot is landing properly or not. And that is when people begin to stumble. The best answer to this problem is sweet potato. Sweet potatoes have a low glycemic index, which means they release energy slowly and help prevent sudden changes in blood sugar. In addition, they are rich in magnesium and potassium, nutrients that help reduce nighttime leg cramps. Those painful cramps that suddenly wake you up and those tight sensations in your calves may become easier to manage. You can boil sweet potatoes or lightly roast them. They help support healthy nerves, allowing your brain and legs to communicate properly and helping you maintain better balance. Many people believe that potatoes and sweet potatoes are basically the same thing, but that is a major misunderstanding. White potatoes can cause rapid changes in blood sugar, while sweet potatoes help maintain stability. And understanding this difference is extremely important because it may determine whether you stay steady on your feet or face repeated falls. Now let us talk about the third and final vegetable. But before that, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered whether the calcium you get from milk and yogurt always reaches your bones? Have you ever wondered whether the calcium you get from milk and yogurt always reaches your bones? The answer is no. In many older adults, calcium begins to collect inside the blood vessels instead of reaching the bones. This condition is known as calcification. When calcium starts building up inside the arteries, they gradually become hard like stone. Blood flow slows down, the legs become weaker, and extra pressure begins to build on the heart. So the question is, what helps move calcium away from the blood vessels and direct it to where it truly belongs, the bones? Let me explain. This is where spinach and mustard greens can become incredibly helpful. These leafy green vegetables are rich in vitamin K. You can think of this vitamin as a traffic officer inside the body. It helps guide calcium away from the blood vessels and directs it toward the bones. As a result, the bones stay stronger, the blood vessels remain more flexible, and blood can continue flowing smoothly throughout the body. But the benefits do not stop there. These vegetables also contain a special compound called lutein, which helps support faster processing in the brain. That means if your foot suddenly slips while walking, your brain may react more quickly and send signals fast enough to help you regain your balance before you fall. Many older adults fall simply because the brain cannot send signals to the body quickly enough. That is why whether you enjoy spinach as a soup, a cooked dish, or mustard greens as part of your meals, making them a regular part of your routine can be very beneficial. My friends, these are not just things to hear and forget. Real change begins when you start applying them to your life. Let me tell you something important. The human body is an amazing machine that can improve at any age, whether you are 60 or even 70 years old. All it takes is making better choices on your plate. If you eat corn every day, it may be time to break that habit. Once a week is more than enough. Replace canned vegetables with fresh ones whenever possible. Instead of filling your plate with lettuce, make room for nutrient-rich dark green vegetables. Beetroot may help support healthier blood vessels. Sweet potatoes can help maintain better balance, and spinach may play an important role in keeping your bones strong. Growing older is not a disease, it is a beautiful stage of life. But the real joy of this stage comes when you are able to stand firmly on your own feet. You have spent your entire life working hard for your children, your family, and your responsibilities. Now it is time to spend a little of that effort on your own health. Always remember that every bite you put on your plate today is helping determine how strongly you will be able to walk in the months and years ahead. Instead of relying only on expensive supplements, making natural and wholesome foods part of your daily life can be one of the best decisions you make. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video so that more people can benefit from these important messages. Do not forget to share it with your family and friends, because one simple share could make a meaningful difference in someone's life. And if you want to continue receiving trustworthy and useful information like this, be sure to take good care of yourself and your body, because in the end, your greatest support in life is your health.